start a new series today. Okay, so new series is Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, before you all go, that's not a book series. That's a anime. Yes, it is an anime. But most animes start off as what's called mangas, and mangas are technically books. Now, actually, they're Japanese comics, but they're Japanese comic books, so you can read them. But obviously, they have pictures. Now, we're going to be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! So, Yu-Gi-Oh!, as you could kind of guess from the cover, get a closer look, it's centered around this Egyptian artifact that Yugi finds called the Millennium Puzzle, and he finds it, he fixes it, except no one has fixed it in 5,000 years. No one can fix it. People have tried and no one can. But then he fixes it, and then he becomes the host of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. Yes, he becomes a host for a ghost, but same idea, hosting and all. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. So Yugi, that is not Yugi. The way that you can tell Yugi and Atom, as you find out later, who is the pharaoh, this is chock full of spoilers, so you might not want to watch it if you're watching the show, or if you're reading the mangas. Either one might not want to watch this because it's going to be chock full of spoilers. For instance, Pharaoh Yugi, as I called him before the final one, where we finally found out his name, is named Atom. I'm sorry, you read the hieroglyphics, there's an A at the end of his name. There's another bird there, so Atoma. But we're talking about Yugi today. So Yugi, obviously, main character. Okay, he's this really nice, 14-year-old freshman at a high school in Japan. You know he's in Japan because they constantly say, one, they're in Japan, and two, well, they make references to, America sometimes, so, yeah. Most of them are good, most of them are stereotypical. But yeah, pretty much, if you took Yu-Gi-Oh!, and the only difference between Yu-Gi-Oh! And the anime, honestly, is that they took out the swearing. They swear a couple times in here, and, TV can't swear. At least in America. So, the manga Yugi, again, he's just a very nice kid, and I like how you slowly figure out that he needs to figure out how to be more confident, and that is his entire problem. He starts off, he makes a wish on the Millennium Puzzle, because it's it'll grant you one wish, and he wishes for friends, because he gets beat up a lot, and that ends up working. Okay, he does get friends, although you're kind of was that the puzzle doing it, or was that just him? Later you find out that that was just him. It seemed like it was more just him, but he believes that it was this puzzle, and he loves games, and honestly that is really cool, because it makes it seem like he's the reincarnation of this ancient Egyptian pharaoh, because they look so much alike, but I think that's just because they're in the same person, so yeah. And again, Yugi is just this kid who needs to be more confident, and as the series goes on, he does get more confident and is more outgoing. But at the same time, you see him duel, because there's multiple. The way that this works is that this is pretty much the basic storyline. So this right here would be the first 3 or 5 episodes that would be known as season 0. And as you go on, you get into the other ones, and then if you want the dueling portion, a lot more dueling in it, actual mathing involved in this, then you read the Duelist one, and there's a Millennium one, and that's the Ancient one. It's divided into different series. So in the movie, they kind of just mash them all together, because it is pretty much divided into different series. If you follow the story, you could go from reading this to one of the other, to a Duelist one, and then as you get to the end, you'd go into the Millennium ones, because you're dealing with Millennium items, and he really only deals with one, but he's also a very nice kid. He refuses to do things that Pharaoh Yugi would do. like in not this one, but in a later one, they fight and he manages to take control back from Pharaoh Yugi, or Atem, and stop him from virtually killing Kaiba. So that is pretty good. So that's really good. Like, we'll talk more about Pharaoh next time, but Yugi, again, Yugi, that's pretty much Yugi. I think out of this entire series, the Pharaoh's probably the deepest, but Yugi is I love Yugi. He's this one of those characters that you just want to give him a hug. Just like, you're so adorable. Just so adorable. But you see Atem, like, I'm kind of scared of you, but you're awesome. Atem's awesome, and Yugi's awesome and adorable. When it's hard to talk about one without talking about the other, because Atem needs to teach Yugi how to be more confident, and Yugi has got to teach him how to be more friendly. You'll see next time. This one. Obviously, I'm going off of everything because there's so many mangas. You see the line of mangas for Yu-Gi-Oh, and it stretches. All the Y's are taken up for Yu-Gi-Oh. It goes on for a long time, but I've seen the show, I've read the mangas. I've read one of every 3 mangas. And really, the mangas, it's like, I can swear this is what they did. People over, since this would be season 0 in Japan, people over in Japan were, I think, went like this. Animate that! Pretty sure that's what they did, because I held this book while I watched it and was like, this is like frame by frame. Huh. It's really cool. So if you don't know what a manga is, Japanese comic book, and you read it backwards. That's why it looks backwards right now, and I keep getting it mixed up, because usually you read a book left to right. This, you read right to left. It's strange. If you really want to confuse some people, it's fun to read. But that is my first character review for Yugi Moto. Yugi, again, he's just a nice kid, and he wants to help. He does help a lot. Very loyal to his friends, wants to make friends. He just needs more confidence, and Atem teaches him that. By the end, he's very confident and can beat Atem in a duel, which I think only happened, I want to say maybe twice in the entire series before Yugi did this. So it doesn't happen that much. One time was because he was being a dum-dum. The other time was because Yugi stopped him. So I don't know even know if you could count that as winning or losing, but again, that's how it is. Yugi Moto is, I think, the most adorable character in this whole thing, because he's just so optimistic all the time. Like, all the time, he's so optimistic. He's like, everything will be okay, we can get through this. Even though it's like, you're kind of playing with fire here, dude. You really are. Sometimes, quite literally, they're playing with fire. Like, season 0 is very violent. And as it goes on, they more focus on the card game, because now they've got the card game and they can focus on that, but still, it's very violent. And the beginning. And Yugi doesn't do it all, but Tim, on the other hand, yeah, he's the one who does most of this. So, it's an anime comic book character for you, and like I said, he's like this, him and Atem are the 2 center characters of this entire thing. And it revolves around them. So it's really hard to not talk about one without talking about the other. So next week we're going to be talking about the other part of Yugi, who is Atem. And, okay, so Yugi is really, I mean, seriously, he is the sweetest kid ever, because even when Shadi goes into his mind room, yeah, they can do mind rooms, because magic and millennium items, yeah. But even when Shadi goes into his Millennium Mind Room, he's even like, wow, this kid's really innocent. Because Yugi's optimistic and innocent. That's just who he is. And there's nothing more to say about that kid. He's just one of the most happiest, optimistic kids there is. Like, no doubt. I don't think he has any doubt about anything. And if he does, Atom's immediately like, don't think like that. Be confident. Immediately, okay? So, next week we will be talking about the other side of him, because it's kind of like a split personality thing, or, you know, just think of this, but without a god. And we'll be talking about Atum, the old pharaoh of Egypt, who ruled for at most like a week. know who rules for a week. So, thanks for watching. Hope you'd enjoy this new series that we're starting, and next time we'll be talking about Atem, and Atem, or Pharaoh Yugi, or Great Pharaoh, or King Yugi. I don't really, he has too many names, okay? So, I'm gonna stick with Pharaoh Yugi, Pharaoh or Atem, because that's mostly what he's called. So that's what's coming at you next, and we will also be looking at the world of, I can't even just say Percy Jackson, we're just going to look at Rick Riordan's world, because it also includes the Egyptian side. So next world review is still for the Percy Jackson universe, including Hang Chronicles, and our next character review will be for Pharaoh Atem. Yeah, let's just call him that. We're just going to call him that. So, thanks for watching. Bye!